every gamma-powered superhero and villain in the MCU. Gamma radiation has resulted in all sorts of superpowered beings in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from daring heroes to rampaging monsters. The big three listed by Sam Wilson as being the root cause behind every superpowered character in the MCU leaves out an important source of supernatural abilities, namely science experiments such as the one that affected Bruce Banner. Gamma radiation has been to blame for the creation of multiple heroes and villains in the MCU, forming similar effects. In the real world, gamma radiation doesn't do much to human beings other than dramatically increase the rate at which they might develop cancer. While the rays can still be deadly in the MCU, being the primary force that actually kills Tony Stark in Avengers Endgame, certain portions of the population seem to be affected by them in bizarre ways. Typically green, muscular, and out of control, gamma-irradiated mutates have shown up multiple times across the movies of the MCU. The first and most famous recipient of gamma radiation to turn into a superpowered being in the MCU, Dr. Bruce Banner, becomes the Hulk after significant exposure to the powerful electromagnetic waves. In The Incredible Hulk, it's revealed that Dr. Banner unwittingly was the subject of an experiment attempting to recreate Dr. Erskine's super soldier serum, replacing the so-called Veda rays with gamma radiation. This differs significantly from Hulk's comic origins, in which he is accidentally hit with gamma waves after a nuclear bomb test. The Hulk starts out as a monstrous green giant with an entirely separate personality from Bruce Banner, manifesting in times of extreme stress or anger. Eventually, Banner learns to reconcile these two halves of his psyche, walking around permanently green and muscular as Professor Hulk. It's a shame Hulk never got another solo movie, forced instead to progress his story in the background of other projects. The original gamma mutate of the MCU, Hulk is the seed from which all others using the intense form of radiation sprung from. The main villain of The Incredible Hulk, Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination, is the second person to undergo mutation at the hands of gamma radiation in the MCU. Blonsky is originally a highly decorated special ops soldier who goes up against the Hulk and loses, having samples of Bruce Banner's blood transfused into his body in a bid to get on the same level. As a result, Blonsky is turned into Abomination and goes on a dangerous rampage through Harlem before being defeated by Hulk and captured. Blonsky's Abomination form is far more monstrous and less human-like compared to the Hulk, eventually changing to become even more so with fish-like fins on the side of his head. Despite this, Blonsky turns over a new leaf when he learns to control his transformations, seeking release from his Supermax prison. More or less reformed, Abomination ends up becoming a disciple at Kamartaj under Wong. Abomination is proof that even deeply irradiated beings are capable of change. The third and final gamma mutate introduced in The Incredible Hulk is Dr. Samuel Stearns, who later becomes known as the Leader. Once a gifted cellular biologist helping Bruce Banner find a cure for his unique condition, Dr. Samuel Stearns comes into contact with Banner's blood after Abomination's rampage, causing his head to swell in size. This mutation ends up dramatically increasing his brains rather than his brawn, making him a unique case among gamma mutates. After being captured by S.H.I.E.L.D., Stearns' mutation continues to grow, giving him an even greater degree of intellectual superiority. As the Leader, he returns to the MCU after over a decade in the recently released Captain America: Brave New World, which puts a renewed focus on Hulk's historic comic enemies. It's here that he puts a devious plan into motion in order to strike back at General Ross, now the President of the United States. Yet another gamma mutate caused by exposure to Bruce Banner's blood, Jennifer Walters is only the second gamma-powered hero to use her abilities for good. Bruce Banner's cousin, Jen is exposed to his gamma-irradiated blood after an accident, causing her to gain her own muscular green transformation via She-Hulk. Unlike the original Hulk incarnation, Walters is in full control of her transformations, having no secondary persona, and can turn her superpowered form on and off at will. She-Hulk, attorney at law, hints that something about the Banner family's genes in particular allows them to somehow synthesize gamma radiation into superpowers, explaining why such lethal exposure to the gamma rays don't kill Bruce or Jen outright. Almost as strong as the Hulk, and with none of the downsides, Jennifer Walters truly lucked out the most when it comes to her own gamma-fueled transformation. The gamma radiation seems to have also granted Walters a knack for breaking